friends, I am Rob, sometimes Dungeon Tutor, sometimes OmnusI, but right now I'm here as a member of Benchleydale because I, as I have been fortunate enough to do in the past, have won a prize at a contest at Benchleydale. And I entered a lot of contests because they've been throwing up tons and tons of these contests, and I have been very lucky. I can't deny it. I have gotten more than my fair share of these things. I like to think it's because the gods love humor, and I'm generally pretty darn funny. So, this package arrived for me from the master of Benchleydale, Tim, and so we're going to pop her open and see what the prize is today. Now, you might be, asking yourself too, if you are not familiar with Benchleydale, what's Benchleydale again? And it's only fair to say Benchleydale is a role-playing game enthusiast group for people who like playing and remember fondly Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And that AD&D feeling is not really perfectly replicated in any other version since. Some retro clones come pretty close, but it's something that is good to still remember, good to experience every now and again, and we've had a lot of fun. We also it's not safe for work, so it's not for kids, and sometimes that gets pushed even to points that I feel uncomfortable. But generally we have a lot of fun, just people who enjoy having a good time. So, opening it up. Tim loves me. The very first thing I see, which makes me very happy, is a set of Zakati Dice. Zakati to me are the Rolls Royce of dice. I have said this before. I have gone on video expressing my love for the Zakati Dice. This is a standard gaming set. It has a beautiful luster to it. They are not translucent, but these look like a nice deep crimson. And I have several sets of Zakatis. As I said, I've been very fortunate, and I think Tim really knows how much I appreciate what I consider to be my favorite dice that I use at all. Considering that I have had dice from companies like Kaplow, Chessex, Q Workshop, and many, many others. Kaylee the Dice Druid comes to mind, and her, whatever her company is called. I don't know, she pesters me on emails enough. But there's a lot of people making great dice out there. Zakatis beat them all. They have a balance that I love. The dice font size is big enough that it fits my eyes. I love their dice, period. So, I think that says everything I need to about the Zakatis, but these look excellent again, and I can't wait to use them. Next, we have from Osprey Wargames, Rebels and Patriots. Now, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I don't do a ton of wargaming, but I think my son has been showing some interest in it. And the thing is, I can pull a lot of useful information out of something like this. And I can mine it for other games, for instance, or absolutely, I could set up what looks like a Civil War era, skirmish encounters or something like that. War games are pretty cool. They can be expensive. You can go a little crazy with those, but still, not bad. Now we also have, also from Osprey Games, Ultramur, Faith and Blood. This is about the Crusades. Certainly in a big point in history, lots of wars, lots of conflicts, lots of battles. Battles both in skirmish size and in larger. So, with skirmish war games, with a variety of cultures that all clashed during the Crusades era, this could also be probably a little bit more tempting to me for the time period that it's in. So, oh, and then we have Kobolds and Cobblestones from Osprey. Their fantasy gaming rules. This is pretty awesome. Again, fantasy skirmish, fantasy gang rumbles. So this could have a variety of races. Oh, the art is beautiful. No. Nice color art. Beautiful pictures. Nicely laid out for easy viewing and just showing off, you know, the amazing detailing and painting skills that their crew has. In their gang city street fights. Well, they have lots of images of fights taking place in streets, which is pretty darned cool. And I imagine too that these are all interconnected in some way, shape, or form, so that, you know, it could be interesting to see what would a bunch of kobold crossbowmen do against redcoats from the you know, the Revolution era British infantry. I don't know. All right, next we have. Wow, this is quite a haul. Thank you, Tim. I'm really blown away here. Frostgrave Ghost Archipelago Lost Colossus. I've heard of Frostgrave. I've seen some of their things in Half Price Bookstore. Occasionally has had a Frostgrave thing or two. But this, again, Osprey puts a lot of money into the value of their art. They look really good, and I do dig the small digest size. This way, if you are going to go and have a war game, you don't need to tie up a huge amount of space with massive books. I think it's one of the failings of Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000. The number of page count on those hardcover books, having those around is crazy. Whereas this, I really do look forward to taking a look into this and seeing what this is all about, because that is another game that I have not myself had anything to do with. Here's another one. Campaign Market Garden, again from Osprey. This is Bolt Action 2nd Edition for World War II. Again, wargaming. So, if I want to get into historical wargaming at all, the rules aren't going to be the problem. It's getting the pieces and everything, but these are really nice. And I do know a number of online companies that I'm aware of who do sell whole sets of units for various time periods and nations and factions, all historically accurate. Honestly, STL files out there also. If somebody gets a 3D printer, that makes this almost a spur-of-the-moment decision. Just spend a week making out the armies that you're going to use. In skirmish battles, you don't need to have 500 units to a side, and you can have a lot of fun over the course of a weekend. So that's pretty exciting. I'm tickled by all... Oh my gosh. Wow. Alright, from Inner City Games, we have nothing to see here. But of course. A Lands of Igpe adventure. Let's take a look at this. This looks like an adventure module. Kind of fun. For 3 to 6 adventurers of moderate levels of skill and equipment, designed generically for use with almost any fantasy role-playing system. I have never robbed anyone, I don't own a timeshare, and I have never seen those maidens before in my life. For goodness sakes, it wasn't me. While you were away, things did not go according to plan. Someone ran up a whole bunch of debts in your name. Someone made a lot of promises and commitments on your behalf. Someone even signed you up for some sort of time-sharing scheme. Someone was not very nice, not nice at all, but they looked like you, sounded like you, and got you into more than a lot of trouble. Perhaps you will redefine that word for them once you find them. And from all the ghosts and images and stuff, this could be a lot of fun. Cute. Alright. I don't have a lot of experience with Inner City Games. I know of them. I've passed by their booth at, I believe they were at Gamehole Con a couple of times. And I know they have a lot of modules like that. I've never really gone into them, because it was only fairly recently where I started really using modules much at all. And they may show me with this one what I've been missing, quite honestly. So I'm very excited to see what that's like. Moderate levels, I have a feeling I could work this into one of my games that's going on, which could be a lot of fun. Hey, something from my friends at Frog God Games. Frog God, yes. This is an adventure for 4 to 6 PCs, level 8 to 12. That nice middling range. You find a lot of stuff for low level, and sometimes you find things for really high level. That middling range is really something that needs attention to it. Saturday Night Special, Ice Tower of the Salka, by James Carl Boney. Let's see. Saturday Night Special 3. 60 years ago, the mysterious ice floes of Zemeth appeared virtually overnight, according to the locals, and swallowed everything in its path, including the stronghold tower of a powerful sorceress known as the Salka. The imposing structure of jagged lines and improbable angles, which once stood overlooking the Salka's dominions, was buried under the magical silver ice, and the dreaded sorceress herself has never been seen or heard from since. This was a Kickstarter exclusive, which makes it even more cool, because I didn't back that Kickstarter. Like I said, I rarely back Kickstarters for game modules and things. There's only been a few exceptions to that. Just because I pride myself in making my own homebrewed campaigns that my players seem to like. But this might be a lot of fun. I will have to take a look at it. I might be able to mine something out of it, or I may be able to run it as is if any of my campaigns go that far. These seem like they would make excellent side quests, which can be very nice. Then we have another one from our friends in Frog God Games. This is from Scott Casper. This is a new adventure brought to you by Bill Webb of Necromancer Games. Yeah. It's called One Night Stands. The cover's a little NSFW. That's not something that they've ever really shied away from in classical fantasy, but also, some companies go to that more than others. This is also another Kickstarter exclusive, so people who got it knew what they were doing. The Jungle Realms of Madaro Shanty is an adventure for a party of 48 players. What does it have to do with One Night Stand? Oh, I see. One Night Stand. So this is a series of adventures, the One Night Stand. So these are the side quests and the like, which is cool. Corners are a little crumpled on it, which may have been why they gave it as a promotion. I'm not complaining. Not at all. And, if you've ever done anything with Frog God Games, you get familiar with their font and layout style. It's pretty much just like any other. Their smaller modules and one-shots like this, usually really light on the art. That's kind of their style. They're not going to be making a killing off of these, but what art is there is usually in-house stuff, which is kind of nice. And their maps are perfectly on point and serviceable. Not a lot of handouts ever, if any. This does not look like it's going to have any handouts. So yeah, looks like a nice little adventure. I'm trying to find what levels it's for, because that's important to know. I mean, if it's for levels 2 to 3, I could throw that in as a side quest right now. Here we go. Party of 48 characters from 4th through 7th level. So, compatible with most out-of-print role-playing games. Yeah. Some of the monsters from the module were previously published in Mythmere Games Monster Book. So, very cool. Another excellent module to add to the collection. Yeah, we could be getting on to a point where we can use something like that. Alright, then we have another one from Frog God Games. This is a first printing, Swords and Wizardry. Adventure 9 from Splinters of Faith, Duel of Magic, and I don't know, that's a really cool cover. She has definitely something she's going to do with those axes. It's not going to be played. Somebody's not going to enjoy it. Levels 10 through 14. PC's journey from a temple of good magic to face a coven of evil witches. where they must rescue an astral deva. Very cool. And again, too, inside is like most of the Frog God adventures. They're sparse on art, but packed with content. Nice layout, easy to read. This one uses a really small font, so I have to have my glasses on when we do this one, but it looks nice. Such imaginative people they have over there. And then the main event, really. This was what the contest was based on as a prize. All of that stuff was just him being generous, which is crazy. That's a number of excellent resources that almost all of it at some point or another will probably be used at this table. So it's all stuff that I greatly appreciate and probably would never have bought for myself. Not because I didn't want it, just because I wouldn't have thought to it. I'm not familiar with Osprey games. Their stuff looks really good. That's really a shame. I wonder if they do wide open fantasy warfare, because then I could use some of my miniatures and stuff. If they have really good, easy to use rules for that, that might be something I got to look into their catalog. History has shown that when I win prizes from people, I often patronize them. So now that I know about Osprey, that might be something. Frog God, I buy from Frog God quite often. I've got a number of products from Frog God. I bought their Swords and Wizardry, Swords and Wizardry Continual Light. I'm friends with Eric Tenkar, who wrote Swords and Wizardry Light for them. I generally very much respect Frog God games. Oh, and Rappin' Athletic, I have that too. So, the main prize. Dungeon Designers. It's a board game. Now, this comes from Slugfest games. I love Slugfest games. They made the Red Dragon Inn, which I absolutely adore. It's a great concept, well executed. This looks like it fits into the same universe, which could be a lot of fun. But their universe is just hilarious. They love playing with the tropes of fantasy. And the way that you play Red Dragon Inn, anybody can step in, and since I've got an awful lot of it, I can entertain a lot of people in the inn at any given night, just so you know. So, the evil overlord is dead. Oh. Pretenders from all over the land are vying for the evil throne, but they want that throne to be properly spruced up first. And that's where you come in. You are a dungeon decorator who specializes in setting up cozy underground spaces with just the right lair-y feel for your clients. You will compete to build the best dungeon with all the right accoutrements, so that your villainous clients can move in, feel at home, and get right down to eviling. Decorate the dungeon, impress the clients, close the deal. A light strategy game where you draft tiles to build chilling chambers, harrowing hallways, and dire decorations. Each tile has a dungeon and decoration side, and you'll need the right combination of both to score goal cards from your hand and compete over boss goals from the clients you are trying to impress. So that looks like it will be fun. It looks like it's a little bit minimal, just like Red Dragon Inn, as far as you don't need a big board for all of this. Players have what looks like their own little dashboards. You set up the dungeon tile by tile, and if you have a nice big gaming space like we do, this could be really a lot of fun to get in and play with. A couple of the rooms they show off: the Unwellness Spa, the Disembowelery, the Adventurer Distraction Hall, a couple of the monsters, Morris the Moist, who is the water elemental, Ozymandias, King of the Slimes, fun, Umbriel, Lady of Shadows, very fun, Coilamus Maximus, who is looks like a giant Roman snake. Okay. This all very much in tune with what I know of Slugfest. Their games are just a lot of fun. They don't require a lot of work. Everybody can play. There's no game master to play against, so I get to freely play and compete. This will be getting some use, I promise. Yes, very much love this prize. Very much appreciate all of the cool stuff. And another set of Zakatis. Oh my gosh. It's just the chilling cherry on top. Matter of fact, I can't wait anymore. I must feel the Zakatis. Perfect plastic V1 Celestials. I just gotta show you the sparkle on luster on these is just perfect inking. I gotta gush. I can't help it. The sparkling occlusions inside of it, they are opaque, which is fine. I don't really care about translucence as much anymore, because these are just so darn easy to read, and the weight is perfect. That is exactly what I want a 20-sided die to feel like. Look at the size of the font on these 12-sided dice. They fill the facet, making it very easy to read for an old-timer like myself. Look at this 4-sided die. No caltropy spiky bits. This makes it easy to grip and grab, at least as easy as a pyramid-style 4-sided die looks. And the numbers are huge. I can read that, no problem. I love Zakati's dice. They are my favorite, and I am very appreciative in having these. And to show my players how much I think of them, I made sure all of them have a set of Zakatis, because that's how much I think of them, and how much I love Zakati dice. So that is an amazing prize, and I am flattered. I am humbled. Thank you to Tim. Thank you to Osprey Games. Thank you for introducing yourself to me in such a way. That wasn't even the main prize, but there's so much. I really feel that there's a whole new world out there of this wargaming that I need to look into. And, who knows? That might be an interesting new sideline, along with the role-playing games. Especially if you've got good fantasy or sci-fi stuff. But it looks like a lot of this stuff is historical, and there's a huge market for that, I understand. My son might actually like a good tank battle now and then, too. As far as Frog God, thank you, Frog God. Your stuff is very cool, and I especially appreciate the opportunity to get Kickstarter exclusives that I missed on. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look for slots in my campaigns to stick one of these in as a side quest. Could be a lot of fun, and I love side quests giving a different flavor to a campaign. If it's been slogging with, say, dungeon crawl after dungeon crawl, popping in a side quest with an interesting story and characterizations can be wonderful to refresh an old campaign. I've been through a number where I wish the game masters would have done that, but in this case, these are very welcome. Slugfest, thank you. This is a great game, incredible value. But this is going to be something I can't wait to play. And of course, all my players will thank you for the harm I'm going to wreak upon them with these Zakatis. Power overwhelming. Thank you, everybody. This has been another Benchleydale unboxing. Thank you to all my Benchleydale friends, all the providers. Of course, thank you, Tim. And I will see you the next time with maybe more loot from Benchleydale or some other venture. But until next time, thank you and farewell.